Bonjour tout le monde. Hi, everybody. Actually, this is the best job I've ever had. So, good morning, and thank you for the invitation to your annual conference. In fact, I was appointed in 2015, and it's my fifth time speaking at your conference since I became CEO. And I think we've done a lot of wonderful things together over the last few years. So, j'aimerais vous remercier de m'avoir invité à votre conférence annuelle. Aujourd'hui, j'aimerais faire le point sur l'état d'avancement de la stratégie d'affaires de l'OPIC et aussi vous donner un aperçu de nos priorités à venir. So today I'd like to take stock of what we've accomplished at CIPO and the services that we've improved for our clients, and also give you a sense of our priorities moving forward. First, I just wanted to mention I was at the gala last night, and I was very impressed with how you recognize excellence in your profession, and that you take the time to recognize the work of your members. And Virginie and I were thinking, oh, we should try some of that stuff at CIPO. Unfortunately, we can't afford the filet mignon and lobster dinner, but anyways. So first, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the global trends and the intellectual property system that I see from CIPO's perspective. I think it's apropos because the theme of your conference this year is Canada coming of age in a global economy. And in this regard, I think that CIPO has been doing its share to help Canada come of age in the global IP system, particularly since by October 30th of this year, we will have implemented 5 international IP treaties in less than 1 year. But more on that a little later. I'd like to talk about some of the trends that we're seeing and what other IP offices are talking about in terms of the future of the global IP system and how that will change the way that IP offices operate. Canada has an opportunity to be part of these developments, and our approach is to ensure that whatever we do as an IP office benefits Canadian innovation and competitiveness and Canada's place internationally. So there's a few points I'd like to make briefly. One is the growth of the intangibles economy. Intangible assets now make up 91% of the total market value of S&P 500 companies, and that's up from 17% in 1975 and 68% in 1995, which really means that the world is shifting to a global economy that is basically built on building value from intangibles. And that's important for us from the IP perspective. For all of these companies, value creation is actually driven by the convergence of new technologies, data, and IP, including patents, brands, and designs. I don't know if you read the Public Policy Forum paper that was published just this last April, but they said that economic growth will, quote, no longer be mainly fueled by capital assets such as equipment, machinery, and physical plants, and instead will be increasingly driven by intangible assets such as domain names, service contracts, computer software, data, and patented technologies. And will this be good for us in the IP business, and in particular in Canada? I think it will depend on how well countries are able to adapt their IP systems to keep pace with the speed and complexity of the changes. So for us in Canada, I think it means that our IP office has to stay really abreast of emerging areas of new technologies and how patenting in particular is changing, and adapt our practice accordingly. And of course, we'll try to keep you informed and bring you along in the process because it's important for your industry and for your profession that you understand the direction that IP offices are going. I think we've all known and talked a lot about intellectual property, but about artificial intelligence, but this is a really good example of how quickly things are changing. The latest CIPO study on AI said that 50% of all AI patents have been published in just the last 5 years, which is a remarkable illustration of how rapidly innovation is advancing in this field. In addition, the number of patents applications filed annually in the AI field grew by a factor of 6.5 between 2011 and 2017. And how does that apply to Canada? We're actually in a very good posture as it relates to artificial intelligence, and you probably know that we have really strong AI centers in Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, that are generating a lot of new ideas and technologies. So of the total number of AI-related inventions that were filed worldwide, approximately 4% were filed at CIPO, which places Canada 8th out of 81 filing economies, which is quite substantial. That means that we're punching quite a bit above our weight and our place in the world economy. And Canada is consistently ranked among world innovation leaders for various AI techniques and functional applications in terms of patent activity. IP offices like ours around the world are looking at the implications of new technologies on IP rights. There's been a number of seminars and discussions among IP offices about whether the broad use of AI technology is going to affect IP rights, particularly the traditional concepts of who is the composer, who is the author, and who is the inventor. And because like Canada and most of the other IP systems in the world rely on the notion of the human as an inventor. So we'll be living in a world where machines can generate inventions through the application of AI data and machine learning. Une deuxième tendance, comme la science et l'innovation sont devenues de plus en plus interdisciplinaires, la nature des brevets aussi a suivi cette évolution. Il y a un rapport de l'OMPI qui indique que près de 70% maintenant des inventions qui sont liées à l'intelligence artificielle font état d'une technique ou d'une application ou d'un domaine de l'intelligence artificielle en combinaison avec un autre. Puis on voit ça, nous aussi, dans notre pratique. Par exemple, dans le domaine de la bioinformatique, les brevets qu'on voit, les demandes de brevets qu'on voit font appel à l'intelligence artificielle en association avec d'autres disciplines, la biologie, l'informatique, le génie informatique, les mathématiques et les statistiques. Donc, ça demande une plus grande complexité et puis une plus grande interrelation dans notre façon d'évaluer les brevets. A third trend is the increasingly global nature of business. Businesses seek to protect their growing portfolio of IP internationally as a source of comparative advantage. And there are a number of Canadian examples. Just to name one, D-Wave Systems, which is a Canadian company and the world's first commercial supplier of quantum computers, has a really large IP folio of over 160 patented inventions worldwide. And they say that in the future, it's who will own the intellectual property that will be the leader in so many interdisciplinary areas of the economy. So in today's global economy, it's imperative that the right IP framework and incentives are in place for business to be able to leverage their IP both at home and abroad. And we need to, as IP offices, question how this global outlook for IP will be reconciled with IP laws that are inherently domestic in nature. Or will the IP system eventually become one big global system? We already see that in terms of where people patent. 85% of patents in the world are filed with the IP5. And in trademarks, 74% of the applications are filed in those jurisdictions. So these numbers highlight the importance of IP offices working together on shared standards and processes and even systems so that we can facilitate a global IP system. And that's why Canada and CIPO continues to push for harmonization of practices and processes as part of our representation at WIPO, because as a small economy, we believe that Canada will benefit from increased harmonization of processes and will make filings in Canada easier, but also ensure that our businesses align with global trends. So I thought I'd share some of the thinking that IP offices are doing, and these are some of the discussions that we're having in the international context. J'aimerais aussi parler de nos priorités, puis des progrès accomplis, puis des priorités pour l'avenir. Just a few words on our progress and priorities. Je crois qu'on a fait beaucoup de progrès là, au cours des 4 dernières années dans le cadre de notre stratégie d'affaires. On a 5 priorités, puis j'aime toujours les rappeler aux gens parce que je crois que c'est ça qui fait de nous un bureau de propriété intellectuelle qui est assez moderne et à l'avant-garde. Donc, nos priorités, c'est promouvoir l'innovation, accorder des droits de propriété intellectuelle de qualité et en temps opportun, et augmenter la sensibilisation et l'éducation en matière de propriété intellectuelle, offrir un service moderne et aussi s'assurer que notre organisation est souple et très performante. So on our first priority, advancing innovation, our signature initiative has been the implementation of the 5 IP treaties, and we're just really proud and thrilled to have been able to implement all of those in the past year. And I know a number of people said it couldn't be done, but we're done, almost. So we did the Hague Agreement for Industrial Designs in November 2018. The trademark treaties, of course, went smoothly live in June 2019. And, of course, the patent law treaty will be in force as of the end of October. I'd like to thank the members of IPIC for their great collaboration over the past few years. I think you've been really deeply involved and engaged in the process, and as I said last year, you've been very generous with your time, but also with your opinions. And I think it's been important because we have been able to adjust rules, processes, practices, and procedures with the feedback that you've given us, and hopefully you have seen how well the collaboration has been, and that I think it will help you as well in your implementation and your advice to your clients. So just to repeat again that your support and feedback were instrumental in our success. And Patrick last night said in his speech that the government keeps changing the rules. So yeah. So you guys are going to have to keep up with us, because I don't know what we're planning over the next few years, but I'm pretty sure it's going to involve changing some things. So the treaties are important for Canada because they connect Canada's IP system to the world, and they help Canadian businesses get reliable IP rights more easily in multiple countries. They attract foreign investment in Canada. They really, really put us more at the center of the global IP system, and we're really happy about that. Just a few statistics, because we've seen significant use of the new treaties. On Hague, we've had over 700 international design applications containing over 1,300 designs, and we've seen a 30% increase in the use of that filing route as of June. And although it's still early days on Madrid, we've had over 2,500 international applications through the system, most of them coming from the United States, European Union, and the UK. And we've had about 70 international applications filed with CIPO as the Office of Origin, and we've certified 52 of those. J'aimerais aussi souligner une autre réalisation digne de mention, c'est que le Canada a été le premier pays à utiliser la plateforme de dépôt électronique de l'OMPI à Madrid dès le premier jour. Et puis, de tous les pays membres, le Canada a obtenu 96 désignations, le plus grand nombre jamais obtenu par un pays membre dans une journée. Et puis aussi, on était le premier pays au monde à adhérer au protocole de Madrid, au traité de Singapour et à l'accord de Nice le même jour. Et puis, la prochaine étape pour nous, c'est bien sûr le traité sur le droit des brevets qui va entrer en vigueur à la fin du mois d'octobre. And you may be aware that we're currently holding a series of information sessions to help practitioners get ready for the Patent Law Treaty by October 30th. And we'll be publishing an update to the Manual of Patent Office Practice in early October as well. Juste quelques mots sur notre engagement sur la scène mondiale, parce que pour nous, comme j'ai mentionné, c'est important qu'on participe à influencer le système à l'échelle mondiale. So, présentement, on fait partie maintenant des groupes de travail sur les systèmes de la Haye et de Madrid. Donc, on va pouvoir influencer le déroulement de ces deux traités-là. On a également des protocoles d'entente avec 15 autres bureaux de propriété intellectuelle pour travailler à l'harmonisation des pratiques. Et puis, le Canada fait beaucoup aussi pour améliorer et aider les pays en voie de développement en matière de propriété intellectuelle. Au cours des 22 dernières années, à chaque année, on fait un atelier pour les bureaux de propriété intellectuelle de divers pays. Et au cours des 22 dernières années, on a réussi à partager notre expérience avec 82 pays différents. Just a few words as well on quality and timely rights, because that's really the core of our business and our most important priority. So in recent years, we've been continuing to reduce patent pendency. Canada is now in line with our international counterparts in that regard. Our average pendency from request for examination to grant was 32.4 months as of March 2019, and that's an improvement of more than 2 months from the previous year. So we're happy about that. We're also going to be hosting the Patent Cooperation Treaty International Authorities meeting in February 2020. This is a meeting of the 23 international authorities who process PCT applications. It's really important for us because we got 30,000 Canadian applications came to CIPO through the PCT route last year, and that's close to 75% of our filings. This past February, CIPO hosted its first Patent Quality Summit in Ottawa, and we really appreciated your views on this topic. And what was interesting is I think we came away with a consensus on what are the top 5 factors of patent quality, namely value, consistency, validity, enforceability, and timeliness. And we'll be doing some follow-ups on that and working with the community to further define and improve our common understanding of quality as it relates to the patent system. And we're going to do the same kind of dialogue with Trademarks and Industrial Design Quality Summit later in 2020. I'm really pleased to have been able to have dialogues on issues with the community. I think this is something that we've really improved on over the last few years, and it's important for us so that we can adapt in our practice, but also so that you can understand where we're coming from, and sometimes we can agree to disagree, but at least we understand each other's point of view. Just a few other things. This past summer, I merged the Trademarks branch and the Copyright and Industrial Design branch, and Ms. Main-Pierre, whom many of you know, is now the Director General of both those business lines. I think it'll help us to better serve clients and will result in some efficiencies in examination and processing time. We're also facing a bit of a challenge because it's been very exciting for us to adhere to Madrid and Hague treaties, but it has resulted in an increase in applications. And so we're currently hiring new trademarks and industrial design examiners, and we're working hard to continue to improve quality and timeliness. And also we're starting to increase our capacity at the Trademarks Opposition Board. And of course, if you have particular issues, Ms. May is there for you. Also, the third pillar of our strategy has been IP awareness and education, and this is an area, again, where we've really developed our presence across Canada in this area in collaboration with a number of partners, including IPIC. Au cours des 2 dernières années, plus de 10 000 entrepreneurs canadiens ont suivi notre programme de sensibilisation et d'éducation à la propriété intellectuelle. On a établi plus de 40 partenariats avec différentes organisations comme Affaires mondiales Canada, vous-même, l'Association du barreau canadien et d'autres organismes à travers le Canada. Through our IP for Business and IP Academy programs, we deliver a range of products and seminars. We have IP 101, how to develop an IP strategy, a number of other subjects. We've had 300 seminars over the past 2 years, and we've reached more than 10,000 innovators in business, and we're going to continue that program in the future. One thing I did want to mention was a new interactive online IP strategy assessment tool. It's called Plan Your IP Strategy, not surprisingly, and it guides you through a few simple questions and produces a tailored guide to help Canadian innovators and businesses develop the right IP strategy for their business. Our fourth priority, and one of my key priorities as CEO over the past 4 years, has been to improve service to our clients. And I think you have seen some improvements in that regard, and I won't go through the whole list, but I think we're starting to achieve a critical mass of service improvements that I'm sure that you will appreciate. We've improved our patentee filing tool with a new auto fee calculator. We can't totally renovate it yet, but we're working on that as a priority over the next 2-3 years. The patent interview service that we launched a couple of years ago has been really well received, so we've transitioned that into a full-time service that's offered in all the divisions of the patent branch. We last year improved the Trademarks database. We did an exercise identifying our clients' key pain points, and then we focused on fixing some of those, and I think we've gotten really good feedback on that. We've improved some other online tools like our practice manuals and databases. We've improved online services for industrial design, and this summer we just launched Find an IP Agent, which is our new agent search tool, which I hope that you will appreciate because it helps your potential clients find a qualified IP agent in a more customized and user-friendly way than was in the past. Comme je l'ai mentionné plus tôt, le PIC est présentement en période d'embauche. Alors, on a récemment recruté 26 nouveaux examinateurs de brevets et 10 examinateurs de marques de commerce et de dessin industriel. Et on prévoit embaucher plus de 50 nouveaux examinateurs dans les 3 secteurs d'activité au cours des 2 prochaines années. We're hiring. We have hired 26 in the patent area, 10 in industrial design and trademarks, and we're looking to hire 50 more over the next few years. Pass the word out to your friends and families. Just one final thought. This year we're marking the 150th anniversary of the Patent Act in Canada. And it's a milestone like this that reminds us that the administration of IP in Canada is an important institution that not only stands the test of time, but changes with the time as well. So we look forward to continuing to work with you to ensure that the Canadian IP system is world-class and keeps pace with the evolving nature of the global economy. Thank you.